We're talking about updating some furniture. It could cost a lot of money. I'm going to show you a way you can save a lot of money today and do a faux finish treatment on some furniture and make it feel like a collection. Meaning, if you have a nightstand and you have a coffee table and you have this and that, and you want to make it feel like you bought it at the same time, it was by the same designer. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to do that.
We wanted to save money on everything, so we took our dining room table. We did not like the finish on it, but we wanted to keep it.
But we liked it, yeah.
We liked it.
Size-wise, it was good. Yeah. In fact, this is what it looked like before we started this process. There's the room that we stand in, sans all the other stuff that we've done on the walls, but the color is there. So that was the table, and we wanted to pull everything together, make it feel like a collection. In fact, the table, as we come back live now, the table is finished, and we also added the picture frames. We did the same faux finish to the picture frames to make it feel like it's all brought together. Right. So we're going to get started here. I'll take you through this. Is a very simple process that you go through. It's a weekend process, so meaning the time is going to take to dry is really going to be the real labor. So
what do you need to do all of this?
Okay, I suggest starting with get some sample wood. You want to test this. You want to get your technique perfected before you move forward. Then you're going to need some primer. You're going to need a couple of paint colors. We picked two here. We wanted to stay in the grayish family for what we had going on because that's our palette that we liked. You can choose a different color if you want to be in the browns, or if you'd like to do some red tones with it. You could add a third if you want. And then at the end, we have a stain that sort of gives it a sepia feel, which is really a cool trick. I'll show you how it pulls everything together. We're going to get to how you mix those in just a little bit. But first of all, we started, let's pretend this is what our table looked like, okay? So the first step in this is paint's not really going to want to stick to this, so we're going to have to rough this up a little bit. Take them out back in the alley and give them a little roughing up. And we want to just take the surface and just give it, we don't have to do a lot of damage to it, you know, and trying to get a big pad sander out there.
So is that why you sand it? So it'll take the primer?
It'll hold the primer. The primer is designed to actually grip onto things better than regular paint. So once that's done, you're going to wipe it all off, and then you're going to start the staining process. Now, the primer, this serves two purposes for what we're doing here. The first is, of course, we need to get a good surface for our faux finish to bond to. So we want to put that down. You're going to see it's going to take more than one coat, which is the second reason we want to use this primer. We picked the white one because we want to have a nice base. So we're moving away from the dark colors. We want to go light with the grays we've done on this table. So we want to get a nice white base down.
This looks like it's going to need two.
It's going to need two. In fact, that board that's right in front of you, Christina, is what this looks like when it's all finished. So give yourself some time to dry and put this here. Yeah, so this is it when it's dry. So you're set. Now here's another little tip for you. Get your old brushes. You don't need a bunch. You don't have to go out and go, oh, I got a project, so I got to have a bunch of new brushes. In fact, the old ones work better because if you look at how these are finished, we're trying to simulate grain here. So you see how the edges here are all sort of broken up?
Yeah, they're not even at all.
If you don't have those, go out and get some new ones and then give them a haircut. Just come in and trim them a little bit, and you want to make it so, because you don't want it so perfect, because nature isn't perfect.
No.
In its perfection.
Well, that's right. Nature is perfection. I love that.
Okay, so now we have, so you're just going to go in. Now, when you do this, you dilute this paint 2 to 1, water versus the amount of paint. And then you're going to go with the grain. This is very important. Go with the grain, pull towards you or away, and just go light, all right? Think of artist here. We're not trying to paint a house. So we're creating grain here on this wood, and you can always add. It's hard to subtract. So you see we're looking for the contrast between the darks and the lights.
It's like strié. Right? It's strié, the painting process.
Exactly. Think like I'm trying to find, and this is why you want to practice these and find a piece. So now you can see kind of where we're going. We could take a little bit more, a little bit less. Important. Let it dry. Don't immediately jump in and start applying the next coat of paint, because what's going to happen is the two paint colors are going to create a third
color,
and you won't have a clear break between the two. So now with that down, so let's say this is I would have done more. So now we're at this stage and this is dry. I'm going for my second paint, actually the third step in the process. And again, just adding some stripes to it with this gray. Now we're trying to create depth. We want to show separation between that under white coat, the dark gray, and the top. And you can start to see that it looks like it could be a piece of wood. Little driftwood that's in here. Again, if you get too much on and you need to step back a process, let this dry before you start adding the third. We get to the end, here it is, we've gone this far, we want to really sort of pull it all together.
The stain.
We want to give it the stain, we want to have a little sepia tone to it, so you can bring this on. Now this is to flavor. So if you just want to add, yeah, if you just want a little bit, but Cristina, would you take that rag and I'll show you what I mean. So if we put this on, we could leave it dark if we want, but go ahead and just gently wipe it, and you're subtracting some, and you're getting a little bit of
more
that,
wood grain.
like it's wood grain, it's giving a little yellowness to it, making it seem a little bit more organic and less blues to it. It introduces some of the yellow that's found in nature.
Can you put a gloss on there too if you want to make it shiny?
You can do a varnish or a lacquer finish on this as well, but again, let it dry.
Okay. All right. And we did the same over there with our sepia tones, okay?
Yeah, we
All
can.
right.
Yeah, it's a great little process. You can allow your time over the weekend to do it.